Hello, my sweet friend. It's Christina, and welcome to a new episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friend. I am Christina Revalo, cake decorator, coach, and teacher, and I am here to empower my fellow cake artists to be creative and to work together as a tight cake community by providing information and opportunities for all, regardless of their level of expertise and knowledge. If you are a cake artist, cake decorator, baker, or cake enthusiast and want to be coached for success, this podcast is for you. Let me help you set achievable goals, understand that managing your time, having a positive mindset, understanding your customer, selling, using social media for your cake business, and knowing how to teach your craft are all as important as flour, sugar, and eggs. Let me share with you what has worked for me, all from a very personal and down-to-earth perspective. I want for you to put your name out there, not to be stressed with time and working hours, and to participate in cake collaborations and competitions, so one day you will be that cake artist featured in a cake magazine or teaching at international events, just like me. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. Before we start our episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast, I have a very special shout out to make today. Two shout outs to two very special new friends of mine and friends of the Art Cake Coach and the Art Cake Experience. One of them is an avid listener because she mentioned that she loves to listen to this podcast and to the episode. She likes when I introduce the episode, calling you all my sweet friends, because that's what you are. So, Nicola Mini, I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. If you're listening, I want to dedicate today's episode to you because you were one of the people that I met on Cake International that I didn't have the chance to have a conversation with before. And you were so sweet to mention that you listened to the podcast and that you enjoy the show. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. You can find her work on Facebook, and Nika just did a very beautiful Christmas demo for Cake Flix on Cake International. She's a great artist, a great teacher. I had the chance to assist her on a demo on the Taste of Sugar, I believe was the name of the stand that we worked together on Cake International. It was very brief, but she was an amazing teacher. All her students achieved great results. So this shout out is for you. Well, hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here. I am super happy to be here. Actually, on a Friday morning. I'm so sorry. This week I wasn't able to record an episode on Tuesday as I was dead, absolutely dead, because on Monday, very late, I came back from Birmingham, from Cake International, and it was so much fun. It was so good to see my friends over there, but I was so tired that I just didn't have a voice. I couldn't speak. My throat was not well, and I didn't have a well enough voice to talk to you guys. I said, well, I need to recover it. I need to go back to my daily routines, and then I'll be back. I'll be back this week with a new episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. And guess what? This episode today is going to be dedicated to Cake International because it was the highlight of our weekend, last weekend. So much fun, so many friends, so many memories. It goes so fast. I was talking with Sylvia from Saracino, the editor of the Willow Pastry magazine for Saracino, and we were saying that is it goes so fast that you feel like you're missing out, that you forgot somebody, you didn't take a picture with somebody, you didn't say hello, and it happened. Like, and now I'm looking at the pictures of everyone, and I'm like, oh, I didn't take a picture with this person, or I forgot to say hello to this one. There's so many people there, and the thing is, we know each other online, so sometimes we're not familiar with each other's faces, and I just couldn't say hello to all of you as I wanted to, just give you a hug and say hello to everyone. But I did say hello, and I did give and receive so many beautiful hugs from my cake friends. And we're going to be talking today about all of the things involved on Cake International. And hopefully, this this year, I mean, could be at the end, before the end of this year or the beginning of next year, I will be able to have here in the show, because we've been talking about it, but it's been difficult to get everybody together at the same time. I I would love to have here in the show Melanie Underwood and head judge David Close, and of course Emma Jane, who did an amazing piece on. He did a life-size King Charles, which was beyond amazing, and hopefully soon we will have them all here in the show together. Individually, I don't know, but it's a promise that I live here, and if you guys are listening, this is a compromise for you to be here in the show. So stay tuned. Today's all about the cake shows and about Cake International, and all the behind the scenes, everything that happens that you don't see in the selfies and in the pictures. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So thank you for being here today, and stay tuned for today's show. And of course, before I start talking about Cake International, I want to give the sponsor is going to be a bit different. I'm not going to be doing a segment on the sponsors, because I really want to talk about two very special sponsors who were at Cake International and who were so supportive of me and of the Arcade Coach and the podcast. Saracino, Sylvia, if you're listening, and Saracino UK, you have been there since the beginning with the podcast, supporting, sharing, letting me use your amazing products. And this weekend was not an exception when you invited me and let me be part of the demos. We demo a very cute little frog created by Zoe from Zoe Fancy Cakes. She's a sweetheart. If you don't know her, she's the sweetest person in the entire cake world. I have I have three maybe sweet favorite people in the cake world. One is Zoe. She is so down to earth, so welcome with everyone, so willing to talk she remembered us from last year, which is crazy, because she sees so many people, and she's, that she remember us, me and my friend. I have to give a big shout out. It doesn't have to do with the sponsors. I'm going all around. A big shout out to Emily Hogg. Emily gives the best hugs ever. She's such a sweetheart. Thank you so much for being such a lovely person. And my sweet friends Latina, who's also the sweetest, and give me the best hugs ever. So I guess those are the top three sweetest. Everybody's sweet. Don't get mad. Don't get jealous. I love you all. But they were very special. Going back to the sponsors. So thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you so much, Saracino, for letting me demo at your stand this year. The demos were amazing because we had the chance to show the product to the audience, because they were there with us. They were doing it. They were hands on, creating these little toppers that were so cute. I had the chance to do the frog. Each day was a different one, and the feedback from the participants, from the students, just doing it, just talking to them, that's what I love. So I was really pleased with the result of all my four or six students that I had in 2 hours there, and of course their feedback and their use of the product, the Saracino modeling paste, which I love. It's amazing. It's the one that I use for all my competitions and collaborations. So thank you, Saracino. Thank you, Sylvia, for this amazing opportunity. Sorry, some notifications here from my phone. Let me turn it off. And also another one of our dear sponsors, which is Delicious Magazine, and Kelly. Big shout out to you as well, because I told her this in person, and I will share it here in the podcast. I said, I'm so happy with the work she's doing. Kelly's doing an amazing job with the magazine, with inviting everybody, with including everybody. She's creating a beautiful rich in knowledge and content magazine. And above all, and she's getting to a level that, she's growing. The magazine is growing, is getting bigger and bigger. We have the DMAs, the Delicious Magazine Awards next year. She's having the best artists in the industry demoing for her. And on top of all of that, she's still the most lovely and approachable and nice human being. And a big shout out to you. I told you this face to face, and I'm telling you now here in the podcast. Thank you for keep being you, keep being approachable, keep answering all our doubts, all our questions every time we ask you, and keep being our sweet friend. So thank you, Kelly from Delicious Magazine. This episode is dedicated to both of you, to Saracino with Sylvia, and to Delicious Magazine with Kelly. Thank you so much for your support, not only here on the RK Coach podcast, but on Cake International as well. Okay, I'm speaking today from the top of my head. I don't have any script. I wrote down a few things so I won't forget. But if I forget anyone, if I don't mention anyone, just pull my ears and send me a message or something. Like, Christina, you forgot to talk about me, because there's so many people you encounter in this event. This is the event. I was talking to our dear friend Marta Torres, who was a judge at Cake International, and we got to be closer this weekend. She got to be our special friend in our group of people this weekend. We had a lot of fun, and there's so many stories. We just laugh a lot this weekend. And she travels around the world, and she sees so many different events. And she told us, this is it. This is the cake gathering, the cake competition, the cake event of the world, if we could say so. And you see so many people, you see so many artists from around the world, people who travel from every corner of this planet. The sweet Vicky Chang, she travels from Taiwan with 16 students. Of course, they won everything they wanted to win because they're amazing. They won gold, they won silver, they won best in category, not best in show, best in categories. It was amazing. And see them all traveling together with their pieces just made me think of how I get stressed. I get so stressed traveling with a very small, tiny little piece from Portugal. That's just 3 hours, 2 hours and a half. These people come all the way from Taiwan with royalizing cakes. It's like, what? How do you do it? So one of the things that I had to mention is I want to congratulate the bravery, not the skill, because they do have skill, the bravery of so many people who travel very, very far away with their pieces just to be in the competition and have the chance to be recognized, to prove their work, and to compete. I guess it's a part of us that wants to measure ourselves with others. But the funny thing is that you do not compete with others. You compete with yourself, because the judges evaluate you, on your technique. They take consideration everything, all of the pieces, of course. But that's one of the things that I love about Cake International, because you're competing with you, with your skill and with your knowledge. And the placement that you get is from what you really have put on the table. Most of us, of course, there are exceptions, there are rules that might get interpreted in different ways, and that could cause some problems, but the judges are always there to support in the they're being coordinated by the amazing head judge, David Close, and he that's like, I will say, is the closest thing to maybe a military group. They're like, like soldiers. Like, they know exactly what they have to do and when they have to do it. They train for months to be judged. Of course, there's two sides of the coin. There were some issues this year, and it is what it is. At the end of the show, there were a few pieces that somehow ended up with no scores, and of course, the owners of those pieces, the artists, were a bit mad. I believe everything was solved, but it was a bit of a hiccup in there. That could damage the experience of some artists. But overall, and I have to say, I have to talk for myself. And I will tell you all the story about my piece in a second, but I have to talk for myself again, like last year. The feedback from the judges was spot on. Everything they said was just what I needed to hear. And they were right. They were right on everything. I got bronze. Again, I'm a bronze girl. So last year I got bronze with my piece. This year I got bronze with my piece as well. But I will tell you the story in a second because it's a long story. Another great thing about Cake International, besides competing, besides everything, and seeing our friends, is the idea that you're not alone, because our work is very lonely. We work either in our home or our studios or our bakeries. We don't see everyone. We just know that there's other people like us online. That's all we do. And when we see each other, that feeling that, this people is my, because you really feel part of their lives. You feel like I feel. That's what I feel. I feel like I know them somehow. That I try to keep communicating with them as much as possible online. So when I see them, it's like, it's like, my friend, you're here. I'm so happy. So that feeling that you're not alone in this cake world is just amazing. Also, meeting with new friends or people you heard about in the cake communities, and you might not have that opportunity to be so close to them and really get them to know as a person. Because that's another surprise for me this year was, since we didn't have the cake awards, right? We didn't have the Cake Masters Awards that everybody looked forward to it. A lot of people, a lot of women, we were left with dresses. We need to find an excuse. We need to find an event to go with these dresses. You can go to the DMIs if you're going, and use your beautiful dress. If not, we should invent one and just get together. But we didn't have the awards, so the award night, we didn't have award night. Everybody went out on their own or with their groups of friends. But my let's say my interpretation, my idea is that because we didn't have the awards at night, we took as much advantage as we could of the cake event, of the fair, right? Of the Cake International. And I just try to meet as much people as possible, to talk with as much people as possible, because I really wanted, I wanted to see everyone, and that was a good thing. We didn't have the party, of course. We didn't have our fancy dresses, but in the other hand, we really got to meet old friends and new friends. And I also want to give a shout out, if you could say so, to the new friends I made. People that I've been talking to online but never had the chance to meet, and people who surprisingly, they were together with other of my cake friends, and we met, and they are just the sweetest and amazing cake artists that you can imagine. So to old friends, to see them back, and to new friends and a future friendship, this episode is for you as well. Well, my sweet friends, so let me tell you the story of my Cake International entry. I'm going to tell you the whole thing. I'm going to be crystal clear with all of you here. Last year, I competed with a modeling piece because that's what I love to do. I love modeling. But I got so stressed last year for many circumstances, and especially the transportation of the piece, that first of all, when I left the show, I said, I'm not competing again. It's over. This is not for me. If you listen to the episode, you probably remember. But I have two very special friends. Cholis Guillen Requena from Spain. She's my sidekick, my partner in crime. We travel together to every. And if you saw us on Cake International, we're like the dynamic duo. We're always together. A very loud, very expressive, very enthusiastic and happy Spanish woman. She's always with me. And I have my other cake sister, Miriam Pearson. If you're listening, Miriam, she is a competition addict. She competes and she won so many things this year. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. She got, I think it was 2 golds and 1 silver. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she got also first place in her afternoon tea category. So, our friends, my sweet friends, Charlie's and Miriam, they always insist that I compete. And I'm like, well, if you're competing, okay, I guess I'll do it too. So, okay, I'm competing this year, but I'm taking the smallest thing that I can take. So the options were cookies or plaque. Pluck. Sorry, I keep saying plaque, but it's pluck. Edible plaque or cookies. The cookies were 6 cookies and they had to be in a special stand and they have to create a store. And I was like, oh, that's too much. Honestly, it's going to sound very bad what I'm going to say, but I decided to enter just to pay for the 3 days ticket. Okay, I'm just paying for I'm entering, I pay for my ticket, I just leave it there, see what happened. So I went with edible plaque. And I got bronze, but I'm going to tell that's the result. That's the spoiler, but I'm going to tell you the whole story. Okay, so I did an edible plaque inspired by a stained glass, of course, in tons of purple because that's my color. And I wanted to do something with gelatin because I do work a lot with gelatin. And I used to teach gelatin art and gelatin flowers and all of that. And I got some sort of fame through it, but I left it. I don't know why, honestly. I look back and it was I guess it was a point that I just got tired. And in the other hand, I thought that I couldn't go any further. I was doubting a lot of my skills as a gelatin artist, so I stopped. I stopped teaching it and I've stopped doing gelatins. But this year, due to an accident, I end up doing a Tiffany lamp with gelatin, who created a big fuss that I still see all the flaws in it. I think I'm really hard on myself with the gelatin because there's not much for me to compare myself with. So it's like I'm really hard on myself with it. And I said, well, I'm going to do something with gelatin so I can introduce this technique in what I do. So I decided to do the stained glass, which is a firefly, and the wings are made of gelatin. And I have to say, honestly, I did it not in a rush, but I wanted it to get done. Like I did it weeks before the competition. But it's like, I want to get over with this. And I wasn't liking it. I didn't like it. I started working in it. I did like 3 different ones. And I put it aside. I said, I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to do another thing because I'm not liking this. I put it aside. I did another piece, the rabbit, the famous rabbit that I don't know if you will see online because I might save it for another competition. I don't know yet. So I did a very small edible plaque of a rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. It was very beautiful, very neat, very well done. Very simple technique, no gelatin in there. I said, well, I'm going to use this one. But then I look at the firefly and I was like, I need to finish this. I'm going to finish it just for the sake of finishing it. I'm going to finish it. So I did the firefly as well. And when I finish it, everybody's like, my friends, the ones that I just mentioned before, were like, you need to participate with the firefly because it's a different thing. It has different techniques, more techniques. It's different. It's beautiful. And I didn't like it, but they keep saying that it was beautiful. So actually I took both pieces to Cake International. They were small, so I could take them both. I took the rabbit and I took the firefly. And until the last night, the night before giving away or putting our work in the table or entries for the competition, 4 in the morning, I was having a very, vivid conversation with myself in bed. And the conversation was like, I'm not going to put this firefly. I'm going to participate with the rabbit. No, don't do the rabbit. Do the firefly. Everybody likes the firefly. You know what? I'm not going to do anything. That was me in my head. I'm not going to do anything. I'm demoing. So if I'm doing demos, I don't need a ticket because I have an exhibitor's pass. So I don't need it. So I'm just not going to put anything there. But then I thought, well, Christina, you already pay for it first. And second, come on. You're participating. You have it here. You have two entries. Just pick one and put it in the table. So after a long not sleeping and long conversation with myself, I decided to participate with the firefly. I remember walking all the way to NEC, to the Cake International, hating the piece. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It's like, I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. And I just got there, grabbed my number, put the number in the back, just went to the table. And when I saw the beautiful work that all the artists were exhibiting there as edible plaques, I was like, what the hell are you thinking? I'm sorry about my language. What are you thinking? That was my head. It's like, what? So just forget it, forget it. Just put it in there and run away. Don't tell anybody you did this. So I put it there, and I just, honestly, I just passed the switch. Like, I don't even want to know. Of course, that day everybody was like, oh, the valuation, the judges, what I'm going to get, what I'm not going to get. Honestly, I thought I was going to get a little piece of paper in front of my bottom of my Firefly that says, what were you thinking? Honestly, that's what I thought I was going to get. The next day, we get to the competition, and everybody, the first thing they want to know is to rush in to see the results. I was like, I don't want to see. I don't want to know. I don't, please. It's just like, no, I don't even want to look at it. I honestly thought it was gonna get like, nothing. And when I saw bronze, I was like, what? I mean, I stressed so much last year, and I work in my piece for months, and I got a bronze. And I put this in the table, and I got a bronze. I was like, well, it's not that bad. I mean, it could have been many things in my head, but at that moment, it's like, well, okay, it's not that bad. And somehow I started liking my Firefly. Stay tuned because the story doesn't end up here. Okay, guys, so I really don't want to get the story any longer than already is, but as me being me, I really want to get a lesson out of everything that I've told you today. Competing is not for everyone. That's something I realized, and it's not because I'm afraid. That's what I realized. It's not because I'm afraid of lose. I have to be honest. I'm not fan of being judged by others, and that's something I need to work on. It used to be worst. It's not as bad as it was before. But in the other hand, since not being judged or being judged by others is not as important as it was before, or doesn't have the weight that it has before, it gave me more security on my work. But how? Because as if you listen to this story today, you realize, and I feel so bad because I talk so much in this show about imposter syndrome and second guessing yourself. And that's exactly what I did. I felt like an imposter, and I second guessed every single step of it. But like I said, me being me, I stopped and I asked myself, why are you behaving like this? Because I know it could sound like, oh, she's just calling attention because the piece is not so good, so she's just excusing herself. That's what I would think, honestly. Because you're this, Christina, you're just excusing yourself because your work is not good enough. I could think that as well from somebody else if I listened to the story. But honestly, and like I said, this podcast is my confessionary, and hopefully it will touch a fiber in you if you're listening. Honestly, just close your eyes and ask yourself why. Why is this competing not as important as you think it should be? Why you are not, in my case, why am I not putting in the same level of importance things that for everybody else in my community is, like winning something at Cake International? Don't take me wrong, it's great to win something. It would be even better to win a gold, of course. But why is that not something that matters to me? And I realized two things. One, and it has to do with something I mentioned in other episodes here before. The first one is when you know your true why you're doing the things you're doing, you realize that you're not the same as everybody else. And there is a uniqueness in you, not in what you do, because I don't think there's a uniqueness in my talent as a cake artist. Actually, I had a conversation with my friend Choli. It's like, when you get there, when where you are. It's like in school, you have the very smart kids and the not so smart kids, and there is a bunch in the middle. I was always in the middle, and I still feel like that with the cake. In the cake world, I'm not on the top. I'm not on the bottom. I'm in between, in the middle. I'm okay, but it's not like whoa. The other artists that you see that the talent is there, and is inventive and creative. There are other places that I shine. And when I saw myself teaching, when I saw myself talking with people, connecting people, finding them artists for stands that needed them artists, creating that sense of community, that's when I realized that's where I shine. Is not on finding or getting a medal on Cake International. So maybe this is actually not for me. It was a lesson of being humble and realizing until what extent you have your talent. Sorry, my voice is still a little rough from last week. Sorry about that. I had to I had to cut because my voice is still a little sore. My throat's still a little sore from last week and from talking too much. I've also been teaching a lot this week, like 4 hours straight. So my voice is a little bit tired. But as I was saying, competing is not in the it's not my big goal. I realize that I shine in other things. And my imposter syndrome and my second guessing comes from the point. And that's when I stopped and I said, why, Christina, why? And ask yourself the same. When you're in a situation where you're not sure, when you don't know, when you're second guessing yourself all the time, it's like, just ask not why you're second guessing, but what is the why behind what you're doing? And that's when I realized my why on doing my creative work, my, my modeling pieces, my voodoos and my lilies and and all the mermaids and witches and wizards and Harry Potters and things that I have here in my room with me, because they're all here with me. The why is I do it for me, because it's an expression of something that I want to create for myself. And if they don't talk back at me, I know it sounds crazy, but if the things that I create do not have a life for me, it doesn't say anything. And that's what was happening with the stained glass firefly. It had technique. It was done according to the rules. It fit in the category, but it was not talking back at me. So that's it. I realized that the art of what I do is something that needs to, I don't know, it's gonna sound crazy, but needs to talk back at me. It needs to say something. It needs to have a life. And we do see different pieces and entries in Cake International that are magnificent, but they lack life. They lack communication between you and the piece, but there could be very simple, but you get even goosebumps by looking at it, because there's life in there. I hope you can feel what I'm saying, because I'm getting goosebumps right now. My sister-in-law used to say for a long time, what is valuable of what you do is the art that you, and the feeling that you transmit through the things that you do, not the cake. And I used to get mad at that. It's like, oh, come on, yeah, we're going to say my cakes are bad? No, your cakes are tasty. But the value is in other things. And that's where I realized my value is in the feeling. That's it, in the feeling of if I do a piece, it has to talk to me. It has to have a life. It has to have a story. If I connect people, if I hug my cake friends, if I help them demo in a stand, if I give them a chance that was not given to me before, but I want to give it to them, because that's what I do. I try to help you get to where you want to get faster, and with the help and with the tools that I didn't have, because nobody gave them to me. And that's where I shine. That's where my life as a cake artist comes from. So, lesson learned. Next time, if I compete on a cake competition, which I don't think I will, but next time, if I compete, it has to do with something that talks back at me, definitely, and I shine in other areas. And that actually helped me come to peace with the idea of what I'm doing right now. the podcast, being a cake artist, being a cake coach for all of you, giving you opportunities, creating a community. Now I'm doing my art because it's something that fulfill me, and it's not because something I need to sell. That was something that bothers me for a long time. And with the fact that I stopped baking for other people, that I stopped selling my cakes, I'm okay with that now because I realize my why. And with this note, I want to leave you thinking, because I've been saying this a lot in the RK Coach podcast. What is your why? Why are you doing things? Because when you get to the true why of what you're doing things, that is when you truly, truly shine. And to finish today's episodes, because this is taking quite a long story and it's a little bit all over the place, because Cake International is like that, a little bit all over the place. There's a lot going on. I could not finish the episode without talking about the beautiful collaborations that we saw on Cake International. That the amazing collaboration of Sugar. I hope I'm saying this correct. Sugar Spooks, I believe, in the hand of Avalon and Corinna McGuire, that they did a live collaboration on Stranger Things. Was amazing. I mean, the amount of talent they had there, the artist, life size modeling of all the characters on the show. That was great. I cannot emphasize enough. If you haven't seen the pictures, go take a look at it. But seeing it live, it was beyond. Is the life-size King Charles that Emma Jane did for Cake International. That was just amazing. And there was another collaboration, very elegant cakes. I think they were based on high couture. I'm not sure it was Chanel specifically, and I know that Emily Honkins was part of that collaboration. I know who was leading the collaboration, but it was beautiful, elegant, traditional cakes to see there, and it was beautiful to see as well. There are so many stories. I mean, you see so many things on Cake International. You meet so many people. You realize who is who there as well. The positive note, I think most of the cake artists are humble and nice human beings. They just want to, as the same as me, they just want to see everybody, meet their cake friends, and hug them. Of course, there's everything. There are the divas. There are the famous one that the famous gets on their head. There are the ones that feels they're exclusive or better than. That's everywhere. That's not exclusive of our cake world. That happens in every single, I guess, department in life, I guess. I don't know, in every single industry it happens, but I have to say the percentage is not that high. So the amount of love and community that you see there definitely beats the other side. Will I be back on Cake International? Yes. I don't know when. I don't know if next year. I don't know if in 2 years. I'm not sure yet. There are so many cake events and competitions and places to teach and places to demo and friends to see and classes to take that I don't know if Cake International is going to have a break for next year, probably. But I don't know. From here to next November, I will know for sure. Meanwhile, I hope to see many of you in London on February for the DMA Awards. We will have the chance to hug again and to celebrate and to have fun together. And if not, just I hope to see you. And if you haven't been to any cake event in your life and you're a cake artist and you're just starting, go for it. Try it. And don't listen to my story of not competing. Go there. Try it. Compete. See what happens. Maybe you get the competition bug and and you realize that you love it and that you're good at it. So just try it because it's a unique event. It's a unique experience, and I wouldn't miss it for anything. If it's not Cake International, there are so many, but I mean, Cake International is Cake International. So I hope to see you there one day. And if you see me, just say hello and say, Christina, I listen to your podcast, and I will give you a big hug for sure. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to today's episode. The month of November has started. There was no new episode last week, so I had to do this episode today about Cake International. I could not do that. But for the rest of the month of November, we're going to be talking about social media because we had a social media challenge on Cake Friends Stay Creative. There's going to be a social media webinar for cake artists on Cake Friends Stay Creative on a future date that I will reveal next week, and it's going to be about that. And let's start getting prepared for December and for 2024 and our goal setting for next year. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. My throat still hurts as you listen to my voice. It's not that I have a sexy voice; it's my throat is not helping me. But thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for listening, and I will leave you as I always leave you, my sweet, sweet friends. Stay safe and stay creative. I'll see you next week. My sweet, sweet friend, if you like this episode, if you love this podcast, I will kindly ask you to leave me a started review, whatever you're listening to this episode that is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I think a couple of other ones. But in any of those, just leave me a review, leave me a couple of stars or 5 stars if you like it. So people will find this episode, the algorithm would put it out there, and more of our K community will benefit from it. Share it with your friends. Download the episode and share them. Share them on your social media and tag me because I will answer you back. Of course I will. And send me comments, send me your review, send me your feedback. Even if you don't agree with anything that I say, I would love to hear your opinion. You can find me in any of my social media accounts. I will be leaving the links here on this episode description. I'm on Facebook as The Art Cake Experience. I am on Instagram at Christina_The Art Cake Experience. Or you can even find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Art Cake Experience channel. So thank you so much for listening. And please leave me your review and leave me your comments and your feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say about any of these episodes.